Okay, so we have a House Bill 75, a joint conference committee of, should we take roll on this august group?
You don't need to take
Okay, just want to make sure. So we're here, and of course the House or the Senate passed this bill without, with just a couple of changes that we put through. But you all have some amendments here on your side. You want to walk us through what your ideas on this?
Remind us what you guys done on the road side. I think you had some language there that the governor's another water collection storage and drinking system that was added in on the Senate side, right?
Yep. And we took out the cloud seed. We took out the cloud seed.
Back out. And then you had, and I think in your select water had a repealer to get rid of the sunset on small water projects. We repealed the repealer, or would have put the sunset back in place. We could, and Sherry, you were there, that was the course of that action, and then we put, then we took out the general funds, and that was not anything against having the general funds in Water One. It's just that we've been told repeatedly now, and that's been updated, that we'll be able to take those ARPA dollars and replenish Water One, Water Two funds with about $27 million. We thought we'd just as well capture that and use that.
Senator Steinmetz.
Mr. Chairman, so Representative Larson, what is the timing on capturing those ARPA dollars? When will they be available? Because this bill is effective immediately.
I think, but I'll call a friend over to OSLI, but I believe the way that works, as soon as the budget, or because we have the ARPA in both the budget and that Senate bill, that as soon as that's signed, it's effective.
All right, follow up, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
So in the budget, it says that the ARPA bill in the budget controls with all of that. So how does this bill interact with that? Because there's nothing specifically in the budget, or correct me if I'm wrong, please point me to the section in the budget that specifically calls this out, because it's my understanding that that bill will control.
It does, but when my understanding from OSLI is when they capture the Water One dollars, they can't put that into general fund. It has to go back to water.
Okay, so explain to me how that, I mean, how does that work?
Say that again, Sharon, please.
I don't understand how that works, that when they capture what general funds?
So, okay, fair enough, thank you. You just assume people have been part of that conversation, and I apologize for that. So, when they done some local water and sewer and infrastructure in the ARPA projects, in those local projects, they used water, and Water 1, 2, 3, whichever account that was, as part of the match for ARPA, because they didn't have enough ARPA to go around and fully fund all of those. So they were supplanting that with some ARPA dollars. So all of that's fine and dandy. When we got ready to do the ARPA bill and say, how do we recapture all of this, Mike, you'll recall that with Beth. She said, well, the easiest thing right away is we can capture 27 million of that we would, those projects were, could have been fully funded with ARPA. We just didn't have it. Right. So we can just go in and replace those now. Those that had that water funds, replace them. They go back to water. And their whole point was, now we get rid of all of the federal yada yada, and they did be administered per. And this is where I'm not familiar, but you guys understand the water appropriation. Now,
further question?
Yeah, so as you understand it, Lloyd, then they would just replace, you're just replacing the general fund dollars we had allocated with the ARPA dollars, and you believe they will be available immediately upon passage of the budget.
Yes.
Okay. Could we verify that? Okay.
I'm gonna try and get Beth on the phone, okay?
I think, oh, go ahead, Representative Craig.
No, I'm just.
No, I'm right behind you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to clarify for the record, Vice Chairman Larson talked about us taking out the additional language you put in about guzzlers and the small water project language and the money associated with that. We did not mess with that on the House side. I don't think that's up for, I don't think we did.
We didn't take out the guzzler language?
I don't believe so.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, I don't believe you did either.
Never mind.
No, I still, we did 2 amendments. I mean, other than, we did the standing committee amendment that happened in committee number 2, and then we added the municipal, what I call the municipal portion of the cloud seeding, the medicine.
There you go.
Or the Sierra Madre cloud seeding. We added that back in on the floor on our side. So that's one of the differences as well.
There you go.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yes, I see that, and then I also see that you added in the Wheatland project, correct? Isn't that what,
The Wheatland water tank.
yeah,
Reading amendment.
I thought it was, it
That-
looked like
it says
committee of the
delete
whole
Yeah,
amendment number 1.
that eventually came out and we put it in ARPA.
Yeah,
Right.
that was deleted out of there.
That's
Okay,
in
where
both
was,
of them.
that
oh,
was in
there
the
it
budget.
is.
That was in
Okay,
the
in the
budget.
third reading amendment, you deleted it. All right, gotcha.
Ms.
I'm tracking.
Representative Craig.
Mr. Chairman, the other thing I wanted to clarify is part of the, as part of the standing committee amendment, there was also $6 million, I believe, appropriated to municipal water system redundancy system. So if you, just so we all are on the same page, that's another difference we have to work through.
So it's a $6 million add, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Steinmetz.
So the 6 million is from the ARPA dollars, and then could we verify the other amount of ARPA dollars? I'm assuming it's the 6 million plus the 27 million. If
Yeah, so Senator, I think the net would be the amount that, of my claim that there's 23 to 27 million that we'll be able to swap out for. If that is available, then the 6 million in the general fund appropriation from the committee would come out of that amount. Does that make sense? We'll call, well, I don't know if we call them ARPA swap dollars, what we call them, but they're,
Exchange.
yeah.
ARPA director,
Yeah.
ARPA exchange dollars.
Power Exchange. Further questions? Senator Steinmetz? I guess so you're waiting on an answer on a piece, or do you have the answers you need?
we're waiting on
We're just waiting to make sure that
Correct.
the funds are transferred, and we're ready immediately.
Hey, Beth. Senator Guru, Senator Steinmetz, Representative Nyman, and Representative Crago here, and we're talking about in the ARPA bill where we've had conversations that we are able to go in and capture some of those non-expended water one bills or water bills. And the question here is, do we have a feel for what that amount is and when that would be available to be done?
So, I think the list that I gave you was the ones I feel super comfortable about is approximately 20 million. The projects, there's another 8 million being approved through the omnibus bill this year that I have some reservations about whether they can meet the deadlines to get the funds encumbered and then ultimately spent. So those are a few that I have concerns about. But once you got the bill done and you gave the authority to do that, you could give it to us, but the quickest route may be to give it directly to water development and they swap their funds out. And that could be the easiest route to do it.
Right, and so either way, either avenue, we're firm on that there's 20 million and possibly an additional 8, but then time frame is that once the bills is signed that we'd be able to do that?
I believe so. Once the bill was signed, then that would give us the direction to have that happen. And really it would happen as quick as people could get the money swapped out and new contracts executed.
Okay, thank you, Beth.
You're welcome.
Well, let me ask, any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, yeah, well, I would just, the hesitation that some of these projects may not qualify and figuring that all out, would you guys consider saying whichever, I mean, if the ARPA isn't available, we back it up with general funds and
Yeah.
so that we don't leave people hanging?
Yeah.
That would make sense. Yeah.
So what we're, the ARPA, if the ARPA swap dollars are insufficient, we back it up with general funds. Perfect.
I think that would help us alleviate it to a certain, because
Yeah, we
that
didn't
way,
have-
I just want to make sure that what we're saying is that there will be no door closed.
Yeah, we didn't have
Because
a
of
problem,
money.
we didn't have a problem with general fund, we just
Right.
thought we could use.
But
water. That's good.
you understand that, Mr. Chairman, you understand that's what we're looking for, is that we're not going to shut anyone out from the window. We don't necessarily disagree with what the color of money, we just, our intent, the Senate's intent was
We
to
don't
fund
want to
the
sell it
project.
short.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I just want to make sure we were all talking about the same thing. Okay. What else? Senator Hicks has a question.
So, Mr. Chairman, on the question, and it's just the wording in the bill is when we talk about water delivery systems. And my concern is that could constrain storage. So use the Wheatland tank example. It's not really a delivery system. That's a storage system that then moves that water.
But that one came out.
You guys have,
Yeah.
okay, all right, it just, 'cause it's not in the concurrence what I have, so, all right, thank you.
So I guess my question is to you, Mr. Chairman, it's 158. We've got an idea on the table to have some language put together to make sure that we get where we want to be. Now, my question first is Senator Steinmetz, are there further questions that you have?
Yes, I did just want to have a little bit further discussion about why we took out the deletion of the sunset on the small water projects.
Representative Larson.
Thank you. So the question that we've been asking for the last few years is how do we see those projects and how do we know what they are and how are we accounting for it? We just, so, and I asked that again the other day, and I think the response was as well, we put the money in there that it gets there's an appropriation as they apply for it, if I understood it correctly. But we never see an accounting for that in the bill. And so I thought so my thought is to keep the sunset in place. The sunset was there for a reason, keep it in place, and if we have to redefine how we allocate those dollars to make that clear. And then the second question we had is we didn't understand why it was repealed.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Well, we do have an accounting for that, and we can provide that to you. It's more internal working documents, just like any commission works. The Water Development Commission goes through all of those contracts, selects the consultants, does all of that work, just like any other commission work does. But if the Appropriations Committee would like to see that, we can certainly provide it to you every year.
And where are we referencing? Which part of your amendment are you referring to?
We done away with that sunset repealer on like page 25 or something.
This appropriations, right?
Mr. Chairman, it's on page 49 of the bill, if you have it, section 3, that's the repealers.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure we're all tracking. We're gonna go back downstairs here because we come back afterwards. No, I just want to make sure, what I'm hoping to do is get the issues articulated, so if we have specific costs of action, then we can come back as soon as, in the next couple hours, and we can try to get language written up for the one. And Senator Steinmetz, are you gonna help me with that? Sure. Okay, and then what was our other question? Did we, the repealers, have we answered that to your satisfaction now? And I'm saying
Why did
got an answer.
you do away with the sunset date?
You got questions?
That came as a recommendation of the commission to the Select Water Committee, because the reason that sunset was initially put on there, I think back in 2016 or some period, quite a while, because the commission wanted to make sure that we reevaluated the program. But we funded the program every year, and at that point in time, the commission felt it was kind of redundant to keep, every 4 or 5 years coming back and re-look at it. The program's been in existence for almost 2 decades now, and they just didn't feel that this is an established program. It was working well, and they just said.
And all that's fine. He never offered that go away me when we asked that, so.
But that's my recollection, Mr. Chairman and Representative Larson.
So am I hearing it right that we got a language change coming here? Of course, and I gotta say this because I'm sitting between two people who've been slapping me around pretty good today about getting off the Senate position. The Senate position here is that you need to seat all of our position all the way. That's our opener. But it sounds like we're gonna try to draft some language that may cause us both a lot less pain there. And if there anything else that we need to do, then I'd suggest we come back and we'll go downstairs. We have to do a little more business downstairs. And I'll hook back with you, Mr. Chairman, see if we can get back together. We'll bring the language with us and we'll arm wrestle for the difference. What do you think?
So the remaining change would be the funds and the 6 million that we put in on redundancy.
Yeah, and I think if we get that language in there that we're covered either way with general funds, outside of that, that takes that off the table. So now we've got the money out of the way, then it's just shouting. Yeah, where are you with the repealer? What do we need to do?
I think we're good receding to the Senate position on the repealer language.
And we'll have that language, we'll see in a couple hours.
Thank
If
you.
there's anything else?
Or less.
Or less if we can. I promise we'll get it done as soon as we can.
All right.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Less is more.
Less is more.
More better.
Got our head scribe on it. Thank you.